Now, Darren Farwell of the Farwell Group joins us so we can learn more about investing for our future tax efficiently. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Marilyn. Well, Marilyn, over the years, and we've been at this for many years, haven't we? A lot of listeners have called Leslie and I to ask questions, make comments, and get a second opinion. And we know from speaking with so many of our listeners that generally, not surprisingly, people want to feel secure about their finances. And as importantly, people want to feel confident that their financial affairs will pass as quickly, cost effectively, and easily as possible to the next generation. I've heard the statement countless times, I don't want my estate to be trouble for my kids. I've heard many times people say things like, I'd rather pay some tax or insurance costs today just to be sure the estate is easy for the kids to handle when the time comes. Of course, that's not the case for everybody, but it's definitely out there. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I was speaking with a couple who are planning to wind up their holding company now and pay the tax now themselves so it won't be as difficult for their kids when settling their estate. So to be clear, I'm not recommending that. And of course, that sort of decision most certainly requires a lot of discussion and input with your accountant. However, it does highlight how important it is to many people that their estate settles quickly, cost effectively, and easily. And in order to do that, you need to get your docs in order. This was the case for Barb and Rashika. And in order to help get them and help you keep your docs in orders, we have a very helpful process where we double check and make sure that it's part of the regular routine. I mean, surely you may think of these 5 things when you're considering estate planning. Number 1, who's your power of attorney for health care? For finance, it's called power of attorney for property. How long has it been since your will was updated? Are there changes that have happened in your life that make you think it's time? What about your executors? Are they still the right executors? Are some of your beneficiaries now 18? And when you originally did the will, they weren't. So that means how those beneficiaries can receive the money changes. And number 5, have you considered strategies to reduce probate and speed estate settlement? Surely these are questions and more that will be part of any financial advisor or wealth manager's discussion. Unfortunately, they're not. The problem is that many financial advisors focus all their energy on numbers and don't take this holistic approach as well as on top of focusing on return and performance. Because, of course, getting a good return on your money is critically important. Our process, our personal roadmap, does focus on both, and that's why Bob and Rashika came to see me. Bob and Rashika were beginning to feel anxious about whether their estate was properly set up to quickly, easily, and cost-effectively transfer their wealth to their kids, and they weren't getting direction from their financial advisor on how to move forward. We believe you deserve to feel calm and confident that your estate is in good shape and you don't need to worry about it. We understand what you're going through. We don't just care about your money. We care about you and those people and causes that are important to you. That's why we've developed your personal roadmap process to help you check the boxes and make sure your docs are in order around estate planning. Here's how we do it. 5 things to consider in getting your estate ready for a faster, simpler, cost-effective transfer to your spouse in the event when 2 become 1 and ultimately to your family and beneficiaries. 1, is your power of attorney is up to date, your medical, health care, and financial. 2, are the terms in your wills up to date with your current wishes? 3, are your executors still right? And for some people, we need to consider guardians. Number 4, do you have beneficiaries that are now 18 or older that can be willed funds differently now? And 5, Have you considered strategies to reduce probate and speed your estate settlement? It's all in the documents. So cross your T's and dot your I's. Get your up-to-date documents in place. You can call us to schedule a meeting, or in the meantime, get a copy of our will planning checklist so you can stop worrying about money and instead feel confident and secure.
So I have your number as 416-873-0631. It's about getting your ducks in a row, about thinking about people and money and putting it in order of perspective. People first, money second, and making a plan. If you're thinking about your future, the best way to do it is by having a second opinion and making sure that things are up to date. And it won't cost you anything but time if you call Darren Farwell and the Farwell team at 416-863-7501. Darren, that was valuable information, and thank you for sharing those 5 points. I'm sure you'll share them with listeners more specifically when they call.
Yes, I'm happy to share them, or if someone wants to email us at the Farwell Group, we can send the will planning checklist. We're happy to do it.
Thank you, and I will have it on my website as well. Never too late to plan for a better outcome. I'm quoting Darren Farwell, 416-863-7501. Thank you, Darren, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Marilyn. All the best.
Now Darren Farwell of the Farwell Group joins us so we can learn more about investing for our future tax efficiently. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Marilyn. Marilyn, your theme today is sort of thinking positively about the future and talking about tomorrow. And, very often life challenges with the classic decision, bird in the hand today or two in the bush down the road. And what makes that choice particularly challenging is there's rarely a black and white answer. This was certainly the case for Bernadette and her late husband when they were making choices about his defined benefit pension plan survivor benefits. When Bernadette's late husband, Ralph, retired at age 67, his employer gave him the form to choose how he would like to receive his defined benefit pension, how he would like it paid to him. Now, remember, a defined benefit plan, as the name implies, is a set amount of pension benefit each year, each month. Now, some plans make an adjustment for inflation over time. Some do not. The difference is critically important and impacts all your financial decisions regarding your benefit. And there's generally no advice around the options in the paperwork. You're just asked to make a choice nonetheless. It's the kind of choice Bernadette and Ralph had. Now, let's use an example. It's not exactly their numbers, but say your standard pension payment is $2,000 a month. You can choose to receive more by waiving any benefit to your surviving spouse after you die. That's the bird in hand. You have more money, income today. But there are other choices. You can collect a lower monthly amount, and your surviving spouse will receive 60% of your base pension, or you can choose an even lower amount each month, but your surviving spouse will continue to receive 100% of the benefit. These are the two in the bush scenarios. More income, but down the road. That's the choice that Bernadette and Ralph had when Ralph retired. They decided to take the higher monthly amount. Their logic was that they wanted to have the income in their hands when they were younger. After all, that's when they'd be traveling and spending more, or so they thought. However, research does not support that. In fact, research shows us that spending is very consistent throughout retirement, adjusted for inflation. It's the things you spend on, not the amount you spend, that changes. For example, Bernadette had 2 dental implants last year. That was almost $14,000, which is certainly similar to a nice vacation. So, do you take the bird in hand or the two in the bush? This requires some very specific planning and analysis for your individual situation. Bernadette and Ralph's advisor did not run different planning scenarios to understand what the long-term impact of the different decisions would be. In fact, most advisors don't. And it's understandable why. The discussion about what things will look like when a couple, two, become one is not fun. It's awkward. It's a hard conversation to broach. However, not doing it can be much worse. It can impact the savings you have for your life. And in this, we are different. And our team, the Farwell Group, we make this part of our conversation. And now you know from what happened with Bernadette and Ralph that there's lots of variables to consider when making a decision about your long-term company defined benefit pension plan, or even your Canada pension plan and old age security for that matter. Your relative ages, your health, your life expectancy, indexing, spending habits, and many, many more. Do the pre-planning to determine a best outcome for the both of you for the long term.
Well, when you started to talk, it sounded like a slot machine. Which one looks better? When am I going to gamble? But it sounds like you have statistics and information, so we don't have to gamble with our future. If someone wants to talk to you about defined benefits or just retiring on their own terms, how do we reach you?
Please feel free to call 416-863-7501.
416-863-7501. Darren Farwell, the Farwell Group. You aren't flying blind when you have statistics and information and experienced people guiding you. Call, it won't cost you anything, and you'll have someone to be your GPS for your future, and you won't be flying blind. 416-863-7501. Thank you, Darren, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
You're welcome, Marilyn. I look forward to speaking with you as well. Bye for now.